What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at Borderlands 4, which just dropped yesterday from the time of this video. And while I did not get access to the game ahead of time to coincide with its release, Take-Two reached out and asked if I wanted a copy of it as the game released. So I figured why not jump in and take a look at it for the people who watch my channel that are curious, I suppose. But beyond that, probably the first thing to know, there have been many reports of this game running pretty rough for a lot of people. Seems to be a bit of a mixed bag. Plenty of people having trouble just starting the game to begin with, which seems to be a lot of the problem. Others having issues with Unreal Engine 5, stutters, things like that. I played the game for a couple hours but didn't really run into any of those problems, but it is clearly an issue for many that obviously you should be aware of. Now, speaking for me personally, one of the reasons I have not covered the Borderlands series previously is that the art style often gave me headaches, which is a common enough problem that you can Google it. But either way, happy to report that whatever they've done to the graphics since then has seemingly cleared that issue up. Didn't really run into that playing through this. That said, let's actually jump into the game itself. So Borderlands 4 brings what the series is known for, which is a lot of very over-the-top guns and abilities to their brand of a looter shooter, but this time to a planet known as Kairos. Kairos has been hidden for some time, and the reason for that largely being that it is a prison planet ruled by a dictator known as the Timekeeper. Everyone here is captured, fitted with what they call a bolt, which is effectively a form of mind control that allows the Timekeeper to force them to do what he wants, if not just take outright direct control of that person. A resistance has started up, as you would probably imagine, as people seek to free themselves from these bolts, either by ripping them out of themselves or finding other means of circumvention. Events for us get started when one of the new 4 characters jumps in as a vault hunter, as there is also a vault on this planet that people would like to access, which naturally means vault hunters. But in order to do that, you'll naturally have to take down the Timekeeper, stop everything he's got going on with his dictatorship, and if you'd like to, you could certainly bring some friends with you along the way, as the game does support up to 4-player online co-op, which will certainly make the open world a little bit more enjoyable, I imagine. Now, the first big decision you'll make really is which vault hunter do you want to take up the mantle of? Eamon, Rafa, Harlow, or Vex. Each of these has their own playstyle. In particular, they have a specific trait that is unique to them, and then they also get up to 3 action skills with its own skill tree. You can only equip 1 action skill at a time, but the skill tree is what's going to allow you to, of course, customize and work out how that plays. And there's a sort of cutscene at the beginning of the game that kind of gives you the idea behind each of them. Vex being a siren, Eamon being a big knight type of guy, Rafa having an exosuit that gives him his powers, and then Harlow having gadgets that can do things like manipulate gravity, from what I understand. After that, it's time for the tutorial, which is essentially the prison break. After you get caught by the Timekeeper fitted with a bolt, you are subsequently broken out of prison by a guy named RJ, and this is your tutorial. So the main thing I would say this is going to help you out with is the game's various movement abilities, like you've got a double jump, a grappling hook, as you'd probably expect. A little later on, once you meet Claptrap, who seems to be the leader of the Crimson Resistance, as it turns out, you're going to get access to a shift pack, and it's my understanding later on you can even get access to things like a hover bike as an example for vehicle options. But once you're done with the tutorial, you kind of get unceremoniously dumped into the game's open world, where you can start partaking in other missions via Claptrap. Your first goal really is to unlock the nearby safe house, which is going to give you a base of operations to fast travel to and from, but also access to the vending machine so you can buy and sell some gear that you are picking up, alongside the ability to take on contracts, which I believe are just like little Radiant quests to go kill and loot things for, of course, experience and rewards. Alongside, naturally, all of the actual open world activities. There's plenty to explore. There appears to be quite a few different side quests to tackle. All of the movement abilities gives you a lot of free reign over where to go, and then there's also, the typical stuff like camps of enemies to clear out. In particular, the silos are how you're going to get access to the vault key fragments that are going to be needed to, of course, open the actual vault as you seek to topple the empire of the Timekeeper. Now, while you fight and explore your way through Kairos trying to stop all of that, you're naturally going to be met with a metric ton of loot. In fact, the one thing I would tell you to take away from this is that there is an absolute loot explosion here, as it is a looter shooter, I suppose, so it's a bit of a given, but there is loot all over the place. You're going to have to check this stuff for things like upgrades, all of the various different weapons and things. Now, in order to carry more of this as you complete things like, say, tackling safe houses, You'll get a currency that allows you to upgrade how much storage you have, like such as your just individual inventory space to carry more of this stuff as you cycle through all of it. But outside of just the various guns, of which there are too many to mention, but come in your basic types like assault rifles, sniper rifles, pistols, the usual stuff, there's also things like energy shields and gadgets and whatnot that you can equip. And all of that, combined with your action skills and, of course, all of the movement abilities, are going to make up what an individual character brings to the table. It is obviously a big focus on co-op, though, and should you be downed in combat, you can initially sort of fight to survive, and if you can kill an enemy, you'll usually catch a second wind, or somebody can come and revive you, as an example. On top of all of that stuff, though, my understanding is there are things like dynamic events, warring factions, all sorts of biomes and things as you get to grips with handling this revolution, which I understand even involves an actual city at one point. So when you put all of that together, I'm a little bit surprised by how much there is going on here. And it did kind of seem like a fun type of game to play with your friends in particular, as it's pretty fast-paced, there's a lot to do, different ways to play, and there's a pretty satisfying feedback loop of going out there, blasting everything to smithereens, hoovering up all the loot, figuring out what you can use, selling the rest, and then getting right back out there, as an example. While you naturally explore and find all these different upgrades otherwise, like, of course, all the various movement abilities, the side quests, that sort of trademark, let's say, writing style that Borderlands has always had. If you're up for that kind of time, that seems to be exactly what Borderlands 4 is offering. With that in mind, if you're going to pick this one up, I would recommend keeping an eye on all of the reports on performance, which seem to be very rough. My understanding it was even crashed during like a promo thing they were doing. And so while I don't really plan on reviewing this one, just because I have a lot of other things to do, and looter shooters aren't exactly high on my list of priorities personally, it does seem like the kind of game that would be really fun to play with other people once they actually get all of the performance issues sorted out, which may or may not take a little while, I suppose, as it's becoming increasingly commonplace. And on that front, we shall simply have to wait and see. But for today, I think that's pretty much going to do it. Hopefully that kind of gives you a good look at what Borderlands 4 is at least planning to be all about. My understanding is they have a whole bunch of like future plans in terms of additional content, seasonal events, that kind of thing. So personally, I may try to jump in with my brothers over the holidays or something as they come around, but for today, that's gonna do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, by all means, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Let me know how you feel about this one down in the comment section below, but regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.